Senate candidate John Fetterman, the Democrat from Pennsylvania, is refusing to release more medical records following his stroke. A recent interview showed him using closed captioning, which has raised new questions about his health. But for the most part, the mainstream media seems to be giving him cover. In fact, New York Magazine just did a glowing profile on him that appears to dismiss many of the concerns. And when an NBC reporter shared her observations that Fetterman was having trouble understanding some small talk before their interview, she was the one who got criticized.
We did find that in small talk before the interview, without captioning, it seemed it was difficult for Fetterman to understand our conversation.
Yeah, and Dasha, you had mentioned that last night on Nightly. Since then, other journalists who've also dealt with Fetterman came forward and said they had a different experience.
Yeah, and Savannah, that's completely fair that was their experience. We can only report our own. I will say it's important to note that according to the campaign itself, our team was the first to be in the room with Fetterman for an interview rather than via remote video conference. And myself, my producer, and our crew did find that small talk before that captioning was difficult because of those auditory processing issues I mentioned.
Yeah, I find this amusing here. First of all, Dasha Burns is a serious beat reporter, well respected. And then you have Vox pushing back on her in New York Magazine, and she says, hey guys, I was the only one in the room with him, and she stood up for her reporting.
Well, she and her team, and,
yes.
and they can cooperate for each other there. That's what she was saying, to push back. You know, I can understand if she were pushing back on people with his campaign. But she's pushing back on other media members. Like that seems insane to me. That she witnessed, she covered, she's respected, she does her job. And she's pushed back on by other media members because they're complicit in his journey. And how do I know that? Because they describe interviews that they had and he didn't seem that way, but they weren't in the room with him. Mm-hmm. She said, yeah, you guys were doing your stuff by remote. Look, none of this helps John Fetterman. None of it. This is causing questions of epic proportions now about, first of all, well, how does the monitor work? How are you going to use that in a debate on October 25th? Is that why you couldn't have one before the early voting started on September 15th? I mean, I just have so many more questions now, and none of them is about how he's going to create a solution to the crime problem in Philadelphia and wider Pennsylvania. That's going to be his problem.
And these are fair questions, Emily. We just came off of an election during COVID-19 where a presidential candidate got to hang out in a basement, and when Trump's taking off for 4 rallies a day, he's calling a lid at 9 a.m. And the American people, in my estimation, did not get a fair chance to really assess President Biden, his capabilities, where he stood on the issues. It's fair to ask these questions. We want transparency.
Of course it is. And remember, during then President Donald Trump's positive COVID test, that led to the entire world all of a sudden analyzing what would happen, what should happen, what could happen in any event of an absence of leadership. These are questions that every American deserves to ask and answer, and have answered, because again, our tax dollars pay these people's salaries and they represent us in establishing policy and legislation and running our entire country. What happened to believe all women, by the way? What happened to no matter what a woman says, you're to believe her? Instead, it appears in this regard that it's, well, not if I had a different experience, and not if my experience was on remote. And why don't you just sit there and be quiet? This is not what we pay you for. That is horrifying to me as a member of the journalism world at large, that she would be attacked and suffer attacks like that without people acknowledging the legitimacy of her credentials and her caliber and her personal experience, and saying, well, I had a different one and here's mine. What happened to that level of respect? Because as always, by the way, this is the shell game the media is playing, because now the story is about her instead of about his health. That, again, Americans deserve to know the truth about.
Yeah, the New York Magazine reporter, Cassie, she's comparing this to questions about Obama's birth certificate, right-wing carnival barkers. She says.
Mike, I mean, the easiest job in the world, respectfully, Kevin, is to be a Democrat flack. Like, the media carries the water for
I beg your pardon on Fox News. It's not that easy.
Yeah, thanks for going into the lion's den. But, I mean, it's just really mind-boggling. And to your point, so first of all, I would say we feel for someone going through stroke recovery. And I've experienced that in my family.
100%.
That is difficult. And no one is questioning that. She's speaking to a relevant point in this election, though. Is he ready to serve on day one? And this calls that into question. And then let's talk about what he's going to do if he got there on day one and his positions on crime, letting out hard criminals on the parole board, or the story that came out before his stroke where he worked for less than half of a year as lieutenant governor. Those are the issues that Pennsylvanians need answers on, and that they would push back on her opportunity to get those answers and say, give him a soft interview is really concerning and unsettling.
Kevin, and I think the answer to me is an overabundance of transparency. He has said he is not going to put out more medical records as of now, but to Emily's point, Trump, they were demanding everything about his COVID test results. I do think that there's a modicum of expectation that you release this information.
100%. And to Emily's point, the interesting thing is the lieutenant governor is out there in full force. He's on the campaign trail, and yes, he is struggling with this recovery, to Cassie's point, but he's not hiding. He's not ducking these things. He's hosting 1,000-person rallies in York, in Bucks County, all over the place.
He's ducking debates for now until October.
Well, we'll see on October 25th for sure. But listen, a medical condition like this should not be a disqualifying act for this election. We've had 2 U.S. senators that suffered a stroke that are currently suffering, that survived, obviously, and fully recovered. So there's ground now for the lieutenant governor to combat this health crisis and come back stronger than ever. But it's going to be the Commonwealth voters that decide, and it's not going to be about the stroke, I think. It's going to be about the issues you pointed out, about the economy.
His crime record, I'm happy to make that the issue.
Yeah, those senators, we had their voting record to go off of, and with Fetterman, we have his crime and pardoning record to go off of. So focus on that.
And the word mercy. Because that's what he wanted to show the most violent crime.
We're going to see in 25 days.
Yeah, including a man who murdered a woman with a pair of scissors. He was the lone vote for clemency. I'd like to talk about that.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.